second, right?
You're
second
2 and 1.
So one of the ones I had was similar to you about the TV taping, so I won't get too much into that. I know you kind of already went through it. I mean, it's pretty much everything you said. Like, you have to be able to time out the shows and plan them in such a way where I'm not watching taped matches from before a pay-per-view and airing it after the pay-per-view.
Right.
When I forget exactly, I mean,
can't get emotionally invested into a match where you know this,
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of examples we can go over, but I'm pretty sure we went to Final Battle last year, and that was what you just mentioned, Cole versus O'Reilly, and O'Reilly won the Ring of Honor title. The next episode of Ring of Honor TV they went up was taped before that, so like it wasn't even. It
was like Cole defending his title.
Yeah, like O'Reilly as champion wasn't even a thing yet. Like, so normally when a new champion of a company is crowned, like the first thing that happens is the new champion comes out on like the next TV show, right? Like
cuts a promo.
Yeah, cuts a promo, or he'll get interrupted or whatever, and like somebody will create a rematch or whatever it is. With this, it was like I had to wait 2 weeks before Kyle O'Reilly showed up.
I think you're right. I think it was an old taping and then a replay week of something completely ridiculous.
Yeah, because it was by the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. Yeah.
And then by the time he showed up as champion, he was like ready to lose the belt already in Japan, like 3 weeks later. So like stuff like that, I guess, is really what it comes down to. It ruins the whole, like, if you're trying to follow whatever stories and angles they have. If I watch pay-per-view and pay-per-view is awesome, like Final Battle was really good last year, the next thing I wanted to do was like, okay, now I want to see what's next for Ring of Honor, and I had to wait like 3 weeks in the winter, like while like everything's kind of dying down.
And by that time,
everything turned around. So to all those points that you made, so that was one of
those are great points. I forgot about the terrible TV
stuff
schedule.
like that. So that was one of my. And the other one I was just going to throw in, since we were talking about the booking, was I think it's time for them to get a new booker. Like, I just think Delirious has been the booker for a while there. I don't see anything in the booking that stands out to me where he's, booking great feuds. It seems like they're doing great business to me because they have the Bullet Club and they have the Young Bucks, right? Like, that's why they're doing good draws on house shows. But realistically, if you were booking good shows and had good storylines and angles, you'd gain more followers that way, and maybe you'd get more, whatever it is, YouTube hits or TV, stuff like that. They had, years ago, I forget who all the bookers were over the years, right? But Jim Cornette, I think, was there for a while. Then they made a decision to move him out. Mm-hmm. They had, I think, Adam Pearce was a booker for a while. Yep. Then they made a decision to move him out.
Well, didn't he go to WWE?
I forget whatever happened.
Yeah, I think Adam Pearce went to WWE.
Just hearing the stuff from like Kevin Steen or whatever it is, that like a shoot interview I watched of him, like, they had a guy, the decision was made to move on and move it to somebody else, and they gave it to Delirious. Delirious has had it for at least like 5 or 6 years. And I don't see over that period of time that it's gotten better. It seems like it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
So I just feel like from a business decision, like there's plenty of guys either in the promotion or outside that you can bring in or utilize to try to improve that, whether it's having a booking committee or, putting somebody else in charge. But I just think it's whatever he's doing has gotten stale, and that happens to every booker, I think. Right. Everyone that there ever has been.
Yeah, right? It's not a knock on Delirious. Like you said, you can only come up with so many ideas. Like how
Vince McMahon, Vince Russo, Dusty Rhodes, like Jim Cornette, like all these Jeff Jarrett, like all these bookers. Like at one point they did stuff well, and then eventually it just kind of stops working, or you lose touch with what the fans want, and you need a new person in there to do that. And that's what I would say that they need to look at, is finding somebody else to like. You have the talent that you have, right? So it's what you do with it. So if you put them in positions to succeed and do stuff well, then you'll draw more people in. I don't think that they're doing that right now with their storylines and their angles, so I think they need to change.
I think that's a really good point. I'm going to go similar direction, but slightly different. I think it's time to switch up some of the talent. I never want to see anybody lose their job, don't get me wrong. So I'm not saying that I want them to get rid of people that are stale, because that's not the case. But this might hark back to your booking then. But I mean, you looking at this card right now, Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer, which is wild to me. But I will say the whole Briscoe Brothers heel turn feels fresh. I like the Briscoe Brothers heel turn. I love Ring of Honor doing business with House of Hardcore and the Briscoes attacking Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer at a House of Hardcore show. I think that's fantastic business. I think that should be on their YouTube page right now. Push that to the forefront. That being said, I mean, Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll. Jay Lethal, he's not been doing anything. The Addiction versus War Machine. The Addiction, stale. War Machine, hot because they're New Japan run, but nothing in Ring of Honor. Matt Taven versus Will Ospreay. Matt Taven, The Kingdom, hasn't done much. Will Ospreay, you've barely seen him. Motor City Machine Guns, who are the tag team champions against the Best Friends, Brett and Chucky T. I don't want anybody to lose their job. Don't get me wrong. I don't but it might be time to shuffle the deck a little bit. Cody as your champion, for the first time I could remember, and I don't want to knock Cody because I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes, but for the first time I can remember, the Ring of Honor World Champion is not the best wrestler on the show, and he's not having the best matches on the show. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Jay Briscoe, Michael Elgin, Jay Lethal, when you put them in the main event and you gave them the time, you knew you were going to get the best match out of them on the show. Or if not the best, you were going to be close. Cody Rhodes, I don't have that same feeling. I don't have Cody Rhodes and Dalton Castle, I'll tell you right now, will not be the best match on the show. No chance. And no match that Cody's in is going to be the best match. It's going to be hard. When he wrestled Okada, the best professional wrestler in the world right now, arguably, he got a 3.5, maybe 4-star match out of Cody Rhodes. I'm pretty sure I can give you a 2.5 to 3-star match with Okada. But I think Rhodes as your champion is a little bit stale. And the Ring of Honor is relying incredibly heavily on the Bullet Club and on the Elite. And I understand why, and for good reason. And I think the Elite, Omega and the Bucks and Cody and Hangman Page, they're all doing great business for themselves on the YouTube, on their YouTube being the Elite. But if Ring of Honor didn't have that, where would they be right now? Who would be your champion of Ring of Honor then? You know? I don't know. Is Dalton Castle the answer? No. Dalton Castle is not the answer for me. He's over, you know what? But he's over. He's incredibly over with the crowd. So maybe it's just like a you and me thing.
Well, I mean, it's also easy. I mean, for me, it's easy to forget. Like, you know, Cody's a champion. Like, who did he beat? He beat Christopher Daniels. Like, Christopher Daniels was a champion for like 3 months. Like, I kind of forgot like that even happened. Like,
yeah.
So, like, when you mention who on this, you know, in the roster like would be the champion, like you're looking at it, and I'm looking at guys like I don't see anybody here, and then like I remember that Chris Daniels was the guy that was the champion. Like, could you put it back on Jay Lethal? I guess you could, but he had it title for like a year and a half. Right.
Now he's heel Jay Lethal, so it's a different... I mean, I'm sorry. Now I was thinking Jay Briscoe. You're right. Jay Lethal could be a guy, you know.
Marty Scurll probably should be the champion instead of Cody, I think. But, you know, how do they get there? I don't know. You know, but that's really... There's not a lot of choices, I guess, to your point.
And I think that's a problem. So I think it might be time to bring in some new blood, you know. Right now... Here's a guy, and I might be biased, that I think you could bring to Ring of Honor and strap a rocket on. Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee would be fantastic. The crowd loves him. He has amazing matches. You know, he's a guy that I think you could bring to Ring of Honor. Matt Riddle. I don't love Matt Riddle, but I think he's over with the crowd. I think he's a guy that you could bring to Ring of Honor for your money. I mean, who else do you think that they could really, you know, use in this company?
Well, I mean, it depends on
in the champion in the upper mid card.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a guy like Ricochet is somebody that people seem to be after. Mm-hmm. You know, he wouldn't be a bad guy to have in that mix of guys. You know, some of the Evolve guys that you mentioned are good. You know, Lee, the funny thing is, I guess Lee was there, right? They had him and Taylor as a team.
Yeah,
and then like their contracts, whatever came up, and like they kept Taylor, and then Lee went to Evolve, and like, you know, he's done really well for himself there. So, you know, they had him, and they probably should have done more with him when they had him.
You know what? I forgot. I forgot that they were the Pretty Boy Killers.
They were feuding with like War Machine or something, right?
Yeah, wasn't and they had awesome matches, but he was only there for a cup of coffee. It was like, what, 4 months?
It was not long. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's other guys out there. You know, trying to think of independent related guys. I mean, but you know, a lot of guys have already come through there. You know, so what do you do? You know, the New Japan relationship they already have, and I guess guys are more drawn to Evolve in some aspects because now they've got that, you know, direct pipeline to NXT should they want to kind of go through there. So that's maybe why some guys are like, oh, well, maybe I'll sign with Evolve instead and work there as opposed to Ring of Honor because I don't have to sign this big contract and my Evolve agreement will allow me to have an inroad with, you know, guys in NXT and stuff like that.
I got two guys right off the top of my head. Neville and Austin Aries. Those are two guys you could bring right back to Ring of Honor and put in the title picture. And could you imagine the pop? Oh, my God. I'm booking it in my head, Joe. Austin Aries shows up at Ring of Honor Final Battle, takes the title from Cody, or challenges Cody, or somehow Castle gets injured, something, there's a mystery opponent, and it's Neville or if it's Austin Aries. But those guys are established 5-star match-having workers that you put in the main event and you know you're going to get the best match on the card. That's what we need, Joe.
There you go.
Colt Carey Silken. I got a lot of ideas running through my head right now, and I want to help Ring of Honor. I like them bringing in Chuck Taylor, and the Best Friends are different. It's something different. Trent Beretta wasn't really doing much aside from getting his ass kicked in every single match he was in. So, they're trying to bring in some fresh blood. Like Will Ospreay, we thought was going to have such a great singles career, and what has he done?
Yeah, he hasn't really been consistently there on these shows. So
I blame Delirious.
Sure, there you go. See.
Oh man, I think we gave him a lot. How do I send this to them? Is there a way I could send him this?
FedEx.
FedEx?
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Yeah. UPS, maybe ground. I don't know how you want to do
it. True story. A former OVW wrestler, Mike Magnum, works for. He left his professional wrestling career and took a very stable job for his family at FedEx, and he's a great guy, friend of mine, friend of the All Night Long Wrestling podcast. Mike Magnum. Shout out to him. Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up our 5 count here. I think we had a lot of, but at the same time, I'm really hoping for a good show of Final Battle. I'm hoping it surprises us. Good news is we're gonna have an ROH day. We're gonna have some NBA Live 95 going on that day. So maybe some IHOP. Oh, wait a second, we had a bet on something. What do we have a bet on?
I think it was the picks or something from some pay-per-view.
Royal Rumble. Was it Royal Rumble? No,
I don't know.
Where am I? What, Survivor Series? No,
it was before that. Yeah. Maybe it was Hell in a Cell. I don't remember.
Could have been Hell in a Cell.
We have to go back and check the tapes.
The logs.
The Betamax.
Nice, the Betamax. So, yeah, man, that was a show.
Yeah, it was good. It was something.
Yeah, it was something.
It was good to be back.
It feels good to be back, It does. Let's see, what's going on? We got nothing big this week. Some football. Geno Smith's playing this week.
Geno Smith is playing.
That's awesome, huh?
It's ratings.
Yeah. Geno Smith is to the Giants, but we are to podcasting.
There you go.
Actually, I'm more like the hefty
the
lefty.
Last resort.
Yeah, Jared Lorenzen. And then we have...
What's today? Today's November 28th, right?
Yep.
So Final Battle's a couple of weeks away.
When is Final Battle?
The 15th of December.
December 15th from the old Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein.
I think it's Stein. See, I before Ethan. Hey, here's a trivia question for you.
Stein.
What was the main event of the first Final Battle?
What year were we talking about here?
2002 from the Murphy Rec Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
2002?
Yep. I'll say this. You know every single guy in the main event.
How many guys are in the main event?
4.
Low-key.
Yes. Okay, hold on. We got one.
I don't know. Christopher Daniels?
Nope.
You want me to keep guessing?
Yeah, I want you to get all 4.
Yeah, I mean, you're
gonna get all 4. Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know who was there at that time. Was AJ Styles?
Nope.
Daniel Bryan?
Yep. Loki versus Daniel Bryan versus
Austin Aries?
Nope.
Samoa Joe?
Yep, that's 3.
Okay.
Versus you're not gonna get
CM Punk?
4. Nope.
I'm not gonna get him.
You're not gonna get this guy.
But you said I know the guy.
You do know him very well.
I know him very well.
Yep.
Like, personally, I know him well. Like I've had a conversation with him.
I don't think you've ever met him. No.
I've never met him.
No.
But I know who he is.
Yes.
He
has worn a mask at some point.
He's worn a mask?
Yeah.
El Generico?
Nope.
Stardust. No. Stardust
Nope.
didn't wear a mask. That's
he wore face paint. It's close enough. Give up?
The Miz. I give up.
Mr. Wrestling 2.
I would not have gotten that.
A.K.A. Steve Carino. Had no idea. And the second one, while I'm here just spitballing, the Great Muta wrestled in the main event of Final Battle 2003. The Great Muta and Arashi, who is Asao Tagaki, wrestled...
Bless you. Yeah.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Wrestled the Prophecy. Remember who was in the Prophecy?
That was Daniels, right? Daniels in there?
Daniels and Dan Maff.
Dan Maff, okay.
See, the cool thing about being a ringsider is I can go back and watch these. I really want to watch the Prophecy versus the Great Muta and Arashi. I'm going to watch it tonight. I'll report back.
How that is, yeah.
We'll do.
Good.
Well, we appreciate you checking out another edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. And as always, you can find us on Twitter at All Night Long WP. You can find us at the Damage 365 Radio Network. And where we are most available is Facebook.com/All Night Long WP. He is the Stallion. I am the Enforcer. And we're tapping out.